one of the symptoms I forgot to mention was from the whiplash was my arm nerve issues and tightness. Now, I've had a physio and a chiropractor say that I probably definitely call it whiplash because I have nerve issues in my arms. So from the car crash, I sort of kind of almost had like double whiplash because I got hit once and then spun around and then I got hit again into the pole and then he like came behind me and like wedged me. Anyway, came behind me, pause. Um, Compare it to the low back's relationship to sciatic nerve issues because well the nerves for the arm they come through the armpit and the shoulder blade and then they insert and innervate right at the neck and it's pretty similar to sciatic nerve issues because the sciatic nerve for the leg is downstream of the spine and the low back and if you have issues with your low back that'll affect what's going on downstream and some of the root issues for sciatica is a tight piriformis, which you can just strengthen the piriformis through length and then it unclamps the sciatic nerve. And then the other root issue is that there's an obstruction on the spine or the spine has a herniation or the spine, there's some fuck shit going on. It's pretty similar. If you have neck issues, you're gonna whatever's downstream of that is gonna be affected. So I just felt like a lot of like tight. I don't know if it's because of the trauma. Like I was pretty anxious about being in cars for a long time after that. Yeah, because I was pretty anxious about being in cars for like a few years after. If someone like would brake late and I was in their car, I'd just slap them in the back of the head because I'm like you're freaking me out, bro. I have trauma. Like some of the issues I was having was sometimes when I'd reach for a cup or a glass, I couldn't it would like my ulnar nerve through the elbow would like have this sharp spike and like pain and it would hurt to just like reach for a cup. Like reaching for a cup, I'd have this like insane like jolt through my fucking ulnar nerve and it would just like not all the time but just it would happen sometimes and it was terrible and also brushing my teeth sometimes hurt but what was really annoying was like laying on my bed on my elbows and like just the man that sucked, bro. That sucked so much. It's because the nerve is like right through the ulnar nerve. Pretty sure I sometimes get the ulnar and radius mixed up but the ulnar nerve and radial sort of pass right on your elbows. So I don't know if it's the fight or flight and with the other injuries too, and having it all like just stressed the fuck out and the body's defense mechanism. And so I was having issues with my arm nerves, and thankfully during that time I had figured out I was messing a lot with the rehab with the nerves as well as I was fixing in the neck. And I was mucking around with rehab and what I figured, so because, okay, backstory. So I should save this for the nerve video, but I'm going to put it here. So I was messing around a lot with arm nerve rehab and flossing. And I was doing a lot of flossing and all the tutorials I was seeing was like, don't pull on your nerve, don't pull on your nerve. It's kind of dangerous, don't pull on your nerve. And I was doing doing all this nerve flossing. I was doing that. It was starting to fuck me off because I was seeing no improvement, and it just made no sense. I was like, and then eventually I got fed up, and I was like, fuck it. The nerves are tight. They need tension to be lengthened, right? They need tension, which makes complete sense. And then I started tensioning the nerves through nerve tension stretches, and I was messing around a lot with nerve flossing, which isn't tensioning the nerve, but just gliding it. But I didn't have I didn't think I had any scar tissues inhibiting it. It was pissing me off because I wasn't seeing any improvement. So I was like, fuck it. I just need to like pull on the nerve and start getting length because it's tight, right? The rope is tight. It makes sense to sort of give it tension. Otherwise, how's it going to get longer? So I started doing that, and it was kind of shit to start off because I wasn't bringing a pump to the nerves, and my neurologist was like, yeah, nerves don't like to be pulled on. But what I figured out was that I realized a fundamental principle in truth was that bathing tissue or soft tissue in blood makes it more compliant. Bringing a pump to that tissue makes it more compliant, right? And nerves are a soft tissue. So I was like, well, this has to work. And I'd see my neurologist, and he was like, yeah, don't pull on nerves. Blood flow doesn't matter. He actually said that, like, bringing a pump doesn't matter at all. It doesn't matter if you bring it. It doesn't matter if you stretch it hot or cold. It's literally what my neurologist said. I wish I recorded that appointment. Fuck, that shit would have been good. It was like one of the only things I regret not recording the most, because it was just so like backwards and warped and upside down. And if you bring a pump to the nerve and nearby, because I looked on the anatomy app chart, and I looked exactly where the nerves pass through, exactly which muscles are closest for each of the nerves, because it's 3: radial, ulnar, and median. And sometimes I get the radial and ulnar mixed up. Anyway, and so from the palm to the elbow to the bicep and tricep, you can bring a pump using the short and long range concept from ATG in concentric only, ideally, or dominant. It's fine, because it's just a nerve issue. There's no damaged tissue there, but concentric only or dominant. And that really helps get the pump down, and just do the short and long range. And there's a way I've done it. I have a whole nerve rehab video coming out eventually in the future, but the what is it? So I figured out rehab for that and getting the nerves longer in a way more effective way, because I was pulling on them like cold and without a pump. But if you bring a pump to these areas where the nerves pass through and the muscles that are closest, and get a pump really deep, then the nerves are much more compliant, and you can gain a lot more length on them, and it's easier, it's a lot less painful and strenuous, and it's really cool. So I'll be having videos of that. I have a reel done, but the long video is kind of like fucked up. It's like it's all there. I just need to fucking sort it out. It's like 40 minutes. Like, it's gonna be a 9-minute edit, but yeah. So why was I saying that? Yeah. So that was one of the symptoms I was having, and I don't know if it's because of the fight or flight and all that, but I have the sequence for the arm nerves, and I don't think anyone else on Earth has that. So very excited to present that, because that'll be my most advanced thing, because it was pretty chronic like just nerve tightness in my arms. One more than the other, because the side that the crookedness was on, I think. But yeah, so I figured out the nerve sequence for length, which I don't think anyone else. I figured out the sequence for the arm nerves, which I think nobody else has, because no one's had chronic nerve tightness, and also understands the ATG short and long range concepts in a concentric only way. Like, no one really understands or has had those two issues and understandings, and so we can call it like the Billy sequence or something like that. Like, I prefer that, the Billy sequence. And yeah, it's a bit complicated. There's a bit of a trick. It's not super straightforward. You can't really know it unless you've had the issue. So that's pretty cool. So I've got that. So I just gotta make sure that gets out to the world. And yeah, so why was I saying that? Oh yeah, there's an individual sequence for each nerve, and then there's like one where you're rehabbing all of them if you're able to. It was a bit much for me with the leg issues I was having at the time, but I discovered that. So that's we might call it like the Billy sequence or something. That'd be cool. Because I knew that a fundamental principle of truth was that bathing a tissue in blood makes it more compliant, and the nerve is the soft tissue. By the way, the pronator, I think it is, in the elbow, that clamps down on the median nerve. So you sort of want to get that open, do the range progression on that, the shorter range pump, and then the longer range, and that is sort of your starting place for your arm nerve rehab. I'll have a whole video on this. I have the reel ready to go, but the video for this is all like it's I've dumped it all in the edit, but it's all fucked up and out of place and shit. So I gotta go sort that.